Welcome to the show. What's up? Yeah, UAP Truth 33. I'm John. I'm your host. Welcome to the show. I got a good show for you today. We got some footage. We're going to get into it. So without further ado, man, let's get into
it. In recent months, reports of unidentified flying objects, UFOs exhibiting morphing characteristics, have emerged from various locations across the United States, including Los Angeles, Las Vegas, New Mexico, New York, Florida, and Arizona. These sightings have sparked widespread public interest and speculation. Florida, ranked third in the U.S. for UFO sightings. Florida has been a hotspot for such reports.
What do you call that?
Specific numbers varied by source. Fox News, New York Post. The surge in sightings has reignited interest in various conspiracy theories. Some theorists have linked the events to Project Blue Beam, a debunked notion suggesting that global elites plan to fabricate an alien invasion to establish a new world order, despite federal assurances that the observed phenomena are likely benign, attributable to conventional sources. Public skepticism persists. New York Post.
What do you guys think?
With 150.
What do you guys think? So I'm going to say balloon clusters for a lot of those. Let me know what you guys think. Wow.
2025年3月27日凌晨，在极端天气电闪雷鸣时，浙江一网友拍到了不明飞行物。据目击者描述，当时窗外狂风肆虐，并伴随着雷电，该不明飞行物依然悬停在高空中闪烁。这一幕让他感到惊讶，这绝对不是无人机，也不是飞机，难道是宇宙飞船？屏幕前的网友们。
0332.
I wanna start from the top, maybe like a do-over. Replace the
Another one, straight over. Here are 5 photos. Today's March 30th, 2025, Port St. Lucie, Florida. I'm going to get a lot clearer photos for you soon, so please follow me. Thanks.
Wow. Well, that was some good pictures, man. You know? Oh. Copyright.
Approximately 3:37 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, yet another translucent, partially cloaked, unidentified flying object was observed in the sky under clear weather conditions. The craft appeared to be, again, partially cloaked, allowing for visibility of its internal structure and occupant.
Yo, remember those creepy drones popping up everywhere late last year? New Jersey, New York, all over the East Coast. People were freaking out. Conspiracy theories were wild. Well, buckle up, cause the mystery's got some spicy updates. It started in November 2024, hundreds of drones spotted over neighborhoods, even near military bases like Langley. TikTok blew up with videos. Are these aliens, Chinese spies? The FBI got 5,000 tips. Trump even said shoot 'em down, but the government, nah, no threat. Super sus, right? Fast forward to January 2025, Trump's back in office and drops a bombshell. His press secretary's like, chill guys, these were FAA-approved drones for research and stuff, not the enemy. Hobbyists, scientists, whatever. People were like, wait, that's it, why the secrecy? But hold up, sightings didn't stop. January hits, FAA lifts flight bans and boom, more drones over New York and even Pennsylvania. Enigma Labs says they've tracked 650 plus reports since November. Locals are still mad. If it's legit, why does it feel so shady? So, are these just nerds with drones, or is something bigger going on? Trump promised answers, but we're still vibing in the dark. What do you think? Innocent or invasion? Drop it in the comments.
2027, but due to everything that's been going on Earth, they've moved it up to 2025. They are on their third level of presenting themselves, first starting with the orbs, last year, which a lot of people have seen. The second phase, their motherships, their modes of transportation, have been all around the entire world cloaked, multiple places that I've seen the videos. Now, once again, this is allegedly, but the third phase is the guy who was sleeping in the egg. The egg that the video that just came out recently, he was resting there, so he's basically their go-to guy. So there is apparently a council of 26, and there are the council of 5, which will be making their human presence known very soon to help us basically get through every bit of craziness that's been happening in our world right now. Now, obviously, anything I say is for entertainment, education, learning, and conversation purposes only.
Right.
I've had 2 separate folks tell me there have been strangers around these parts last couple nights. Nobody's been hurt, mind you. And that's the giveaway. It's called probing. You send out a reconnaissance group, very small. Check things out. Make sure things are all clear.
Clear for what?
For the rest of them. I've had 2 separate folks.
What the hell? What am I looking at? You need to get the boy! What the hell? What is that?
Weird.
What the?
It's like a smoke ring. That's weird.
Looking at the house and then what's above the house. It's pretty so far. What's going on out there? Over there.
Yo, I see it.
See a little star in the background. Hi.
It's moving. What are we looking at, dude?
I'm sorry. So I have 1 star for you.
On March 19, 2025, a massive UFO hovered over a city installation.
Look at the moon. We're looking at some weird stuff going on with the moon.
What's going on?
It's getting black and it's going.
Yeah.
Who is the creator of the simulation?
Some people say it's aliens. There was a professor at Oxford who wrote a paper about this back in 2003 named Nick Bostrom, and he thinks it's future versions of ourselves. So he thinks we're in what we'd call an ancestor simulation. Like if we created a game of ancient Rome, they would be like our ancestors in a way. There are others who say it's God or pure consciousness outside of the matrix. So all the religions, not just any specific religion, but pretty much all of them, have been telling us that the physical world is not the real world, that there's another world out there beyond this. And so that's yet another theory of what's outside.
Do you believe this is probable, possible?
I believe it's probable, like more than a 50% chance that we are inside some type of...
One of the most fascinating things to me about simulation theory is the evidence of code within our universe. The very core of all computers and processors, they store all information in a simple 1 or 0 system. This is called binary. Think of it like an on-off switch. 1 is on, 0 is off. Now you might think to yourself, well, programmers don't write in 1s and 0s. No, they don't. They write in simplified languages, but the computer translates that information to binary. Here's my username in binary. All of the information, all of it, on the vast internet is reduced to ones and zeros. What is extremely fascinating to me is across the spectrum of spirituality, they talk about duality. What's fascinating to me is when you look at the duality of like reproductive organs, it's a 1 and a 0. This is why it's often referred to as binary versus like non-binary. What's fascinating is all of these ones and zeros, they make everything, pictures, sounds. This is the very famous physicist John Wheeler. He constructed a theory that he calls it from bit, where everything in the visible universe contains this information of ones and zeros, the on-off switch, and from that reality is constructed. When I say everything, I mean everything, from the smallest little particle to entire galaxies in their construction. Wheeler proposed that physical reality is not fundamental, but rather that we create everything we observe. This means that information that exists all around us is more fundamental than physical matter. Essentially meaning a coder created The Sims. That language, that code was translated into zeros and ones, and it created the reality.
I'm claiming to have found proof that we live in a simulation. If you project a 650 nanometer diffracted laser on the surface, and you happen to be on DMT, you will see code running in surfaces. This observation is true across all individuals, all times, and all conditions. The rabbit hole goes pretty deep, and there's a lot to unpack. So for context, check out this viral video of mine, in which I'm talking about the details about the discovery. What you're about to see next is a clip from the second video on the subject, which also includes people trying the experiment. So why would a civilization simulate our space? I have a few assumptions. Here's one example. Imagine the most advanced civilization you can possibly think of. Number 5, 6, 7, doesn't matter what number you want to throw at it. Let's say that they've discovered everything there is to know inside the physical universe and maybe the non-physical universe. In all directions, in all dimensions, in all times. You get the picture. Aside from one final question, which is the same question from the beginning of time. Why? Why does anything exist? Let's say that that's the final unanswered question. So this civilization would allocate all its technological sophistication and resources to answer that question. How would you go about answering a question like that? Well, how do we do anything in machine learning, for example? We collect enormous amounts of data, and then we let a machine run through it with supervised and unsupervised learning, and then we look at the patterns that emerge. We build visual graphs, we build statistical analysis to that, and then we reach some kind of a conclusion about what this data might mean. So in the same way, one possible way that a civilization like that would go about answering that question would be running infinite number of simulations, and by observing the creatures that are developing in their respective environments and what kind of theories and what kind of stories they come up about their origin story, they can then collect all that data and then put it into this ultra mega super AI or AGI that will then come up with some kind of a heat map of the most common explanation, and they will try and maybe distill the essence, the thing that is the common denominator between all of those stories that will eventually, potentially produce the statistically most likely answer to why does anything exist. Now, obviously, I'm not saying that's necessarily the case, but this would be one plausible explanation as to why the simulation means something to a civilization that runs it. The difference between all those fascinating speculations and what we need to do now is we have to take anything that we're capable of reproducing and then using that to connect it to what we already know. Only then we're going to have some kind of a firm ground or firmer ground on which we'll be able to stand and ask the right kind of questions. This is an opportunity for individuals to make themselves a part of something that is huge, because there's room for everybody in such a quest. Yes, I happen to have come up with the idea that if you project this laser and you're in the psychedelic and you get to see this, but this is just the beginning of the road. That is not the discovery. It might be the door that opens to a path that will eventually lead to the discovery, but I truly believe that this discovery will be made by all of us collectively. So please understand that this video is more a call for.
Well, listen, here's the thing. You got to be on some kind of crazy psychedelic to see it. So how you even know if it's real or if it's just hallucination? You know what I mean? Like, come on. I don't know. Hey, what do you guys think? Let me know. I don't know. I'm gone on that.
Riddle me this. How is it that the price of chicken eggs gone up quadruple, 5 times the price it used to be? You could get a dozen of eggs for $1, and now, what is it, $10? But how is it that the price of chicken didn't go up 5 times the amount? The price of chicken still is $7, $8 a pound. Why is it not $20, $30 a pound?
I don't know.
This guy is convinced that he's living in a simulation, and here's why.
Ain't no way everyone here is a real person. Life is a simulation and a legitimate professor has proved it. James Gates, a theoretical physicist at MIT with 2 bachelor degrees and a PhD, found literal computer code embedded in the most fundamental building blocks of reality called strings. Now, string theory is a tough one, but I'm gonna break it down for you in a way that an 11-year-old would understand. So if you don't get this, hey, go back to grade 5, bro. Alright, so we got my boy Einstein's theory of general relativity, which is basically just a theory of everything big. Planets, gravity, the universe, all the way back to the Big Bang. Then we got the new kid in town, quantum physics. This is the theory of everything small, like particles, atoms, and molecules, where the general laws of physics, like gravity, don't apply anymore. The same is true the other way around. Quantum laws don't apply to regular-sized physics. So we got general relativity, everything big, and quantum physics, everything small. Like, yo, dig. But both of these realms have the same parent, the Big Bang, at which point everything that is now big used to be small. If the small can become big, then quantum and general relativity need some sort of theory that can unify them. That is string theory. What happens to the big when it's small? What happens when you zoom into an atom? You see protons and neutrons in the center with electrons all around it. Now, what about inside a neutron? Even smaller particles called quarks. So how deep does the scale go? Conventional science will tell you there's nothing inside these quarks. But string theory suggests there's a tiny filament or a string of pure energy that exists inside of them. And just like the string of a guitar vibrates and creates different sound based on its shape and tension, the strings in string theory vibrate. But instead of sound, they produce matter in the form of particles. This completely changes the way you look at the world. Every particle in the universe is just a string vibrating at a different frequency, and every vibrational pattern has its own associated particle. So if you break anything down far enough, we're all just energy vibrating at differing wavelengths to form matter. Although it's still just a theory, this would link general relativity to the quantum realm and form what is known as the theory of.
So this UFO situation is getting wild, guys, or as the authorities would call it, this mystery drone situation. So I'm going to discuss some breaking news, some new developments that are happening with it, including these craft now following FBI agents back to their house. And I'll also explain what I think is happening and how it ties into what's called simulator theory. And I know that makes a lot of people uneasy because it challenges what you believe reality is, which I think might be the point of all of this. And also tie this back to the great airship mystery of the 1800s, one of the most wild stories that you've probably never heard of, but it will shine a lot of light on what's happening right now with this current UFO flap. So first of all, let's talk about what is happening. Well, these UFO have been seen all over the world at some of the most restricted airspace over some of our, most sensitive Air Force bases in the world, but also at top secret nuclear test sites. And now they seem to be kind of centralized over New Jersey, which is kind of weird. But what people are seeing has morphed over the last couple weeks. What were first described as like quadricopter type drones and then as like orbs of light are now being described as small airplanes. Now this is very odd because I'm about to play a video for you that's going to show one of these airplanes, and I want you to listen to the girl's voice because you can tell a lot by a human reaction. Now, there's dozens of these videos. If you follow me on X, you can see a lot of them there. And they all kind of say the same thing. It looks like an airplane, but it's not, okay? And you have to put yourself in the shoes of the person. They're talking about these things being just right at the tree level, right above houses, right? Like 100, 200 feet in the air. And that they're the size of like a car, not the size of a plane, okay? And they're not going hundreds of miles an hour. They're going like 20 miles an hour. But they're playing the sound. They say it's like a simulated sound where it sounds like a big airplane way up in the sky, but it's not. It's like right there. And it's really freaking these people out because it doesn't make sense. They're looking at it, it's changing shape. Sometimes they stop and they turn. Sometimes they disappear. They're not landing. A lot of the times there's no airports nearby. None of it makes any sense at all. And it's really freaking these people out. But when you just see a picture of it, you're like, duh, that's an airplane, dude. You're losing your mind. But you have to listen to these people. I mean, there's dozens of these videos of people just freaking out because what they're seeing is blowing their mind and shaking them to their foundation of what reality is. Yet, on a cell phone video, it doesn't look that impressive. So here, I'm going to play this video and listen to the girls' reaction to what they're seeing.
It's really cute.
And it's huge.
It's so big. It looks so much closer in person.
Yeah, my camera doesn't do it. Looks like a spaceship, right? Like that doesn't look like a drone, right? That looks like a spaceship. It's like a small plane. It really is like a small plane. Oh my God.
That's wild, isn't it? I mean, it really kind of gives you goosebumps.
We live in a simulation. And no, I'm not talking about some sci-fi movie plot. I'm talking about the very nature of this reality and how it's not as solid, fixed or real as we've been led to believe. Think about it. Have you ever had a moment where things just didn't add up? Maybe you've experienced deja vu, Mandela effects, strange synchronicities, or moments where reality felt like it glitched for a second. Those aren't just random occurrences. They're clues that this reality isn't as stable as we think. It's a construct, and we are inside of it. Science, spirituality, and ancient wisdom all point to this. Quantum physics tells us that reality only takes shape when it's observed, meaning that everything around you is being rendered in real time. Just like a video game loads new scenes as you move through it. The double slit experiment proves this. And when we look at ancient spiritual teachings, they all say the same thing. This world is an illusion, a Maya. But here's the most important part. If we're in a simulation, that means reality is programmable. It means you are not stuck. The rules of this world are not set in stone. Just like in a video game, the code can be altered. And that's exactly what things like manifestation, energy work, and shifting timelines are about. They are hacks to the system. The truth is, we've been programmed to believe we are powerless. But that's the biggest lie. You are not just a player in this game, you have the ability to shape it. You can rewire your mind, shift your energy, and change your entire experience of reality. The more you wake up to the illusion, the more you can bend it. So now that you know this, the real question is, are you going to keep playing by the default rules? Or are you going to break free and start rewriting the script?
Like it. Well, what do you guys think? We live in a simulation? Is the UFOs and the UAP, and are they the simulators? Are they existing outside of this space-time construct? You know, how many of us are NPCs? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Watching John C's Truth 33. Thank you very much for watching. I'll be back tomorrow with more footage. What do you guys think of the UFO footage? Huh? What's going on? Still happening. Are they ever going to tell us? I don't think so. I think we got to do this ourselves, folks. Get out there. Start watching the skies. Till tomorrow. Thanks for watching.